Our story begins not with kings or empires, but with a hand reaching for another, facing a new horizon. On an East African shore, tens of thousands of years ago, the dawn turns the shallows to copper. From such mornings came the Great Migrations, a slow human tide flowing out of Africa. Millennia later, patient hands pressed seeds into soil. The harvest anchored our lives, and the field taught us patience. Villages demanded cooperation. With grain came surplus, and with surplus, the birth of society. Along the Tigris, the Euphrates, and the Nile, civilization took root in river mud. Irrigation canals, like arteries, connected fields to storehouses and temples. In the growing cities, we learned to count the seasons, to assign labor, and to remember debts. On tablets of clay, writing gave memory a permanent form. Bronze hissed from the furnace, and calendars steadied the year. The unspoken rules of kinship gave way to the written laws of kings. Far to the east, the Indus Valley gave us gridded streets, while beside the Yellow River, cities rose from rammed earth. Taxation followed the grain, and law gained its authority in codes recited for all to hear. What binds strangers into a city? It is the power of shared systems. From the humble seed grew the sprawling city. From the storehouse ledger, the authority of the throne. Soon caravans chimed across dry passes, and sails snapped in warm coastal currents. Early empires bound vast regions with conquest, tribute, and diplomacy. A seal ring, a royal marriage, a wagon of tin, these were the currencies of power. Roads and sea lanes wove the world together, turning distant horizons into neighbors. When you check a date, pay a tax, or track a package, you are using these ancient systems in modern clothes. But a new question arose: what makes authority just? In an axial age of profound debate, new ideas provided a moral compass. In the East, one teacher framed an ethic of family and state we call Confucianism. Another path spoke of ending suffering through compassion, the Buddhist way. Among the Hebrews, prophets thundered of covenant and justice. And in the cities of Greece, philosophers probed the nature of reason and the good life. They left us questions we still wrestle with today. Then, oceans turned into highways. On a Lisbon quay around 1500, a new age begins. A descendant of our shoreline forager grips a rope, whispers a prayer, and watches a caravel set sail for a world unknown. Distant shores suddenly touch. Across the seas, new crops, animals, and diseases make the leap. Empires and appetites follow. Telescopes challenge old certainties, while coffeehouse debates declare that reason alone should rule. If reason can map the heavens, can it not map a just society on earth? Revolutions shake thrones, enslaved people seize their freedom, and then factories answer with smoke. In the mill towns, a whistle commands the day. Coal and steam compress time and labor. Cheap cloth expands empires. Borders harden under new flags. But from these same networks, a new kind of total war emerges. One world war begins in 1914, another ends in 1945. Empires crack, new nations are born, and a long, cold standoff divides the globe. Yet we are more connected than ever. Wires, cargo, and code bind our markets and our minds. A decision in one harbor sends ripples through screens worldwide. Climate and pandemics test our shared systems. Inequality and human rights remain fiercely contested. Our choices now, from the code we write to the policies we enact, shape a future for billions. And this leaves us with the hardest puzzle of all. In this world we have made, who gets to define progress?